An Australian farmer gives milk to a wallaby, 1910s. George Clooney with his pet pig Max, 1990s. Secret Service agent Bob Foster leads Caroline Kennedy on a ride with macaroni. Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher having a romantic moment with each other on the set of The Empire Strikes Back, 1979. A Last Dance at Fort Bragg. Soldiers enjoy a night out before deployment, 1942. Smoke rises from burning buildings on the waterfront during the fire after the earthquake of 1906 in San Francisco, California. When Boston was hit by a bizarre deadly wave of molasses, 1919. Monica Bellucci, 1991. Nelson Mandela shares a laugh with Evita Bezuidenhout, a drag queen with real name Peter Dirk Uy in the 1990s. Robin Williams spending all day signing autographs at a homeless shelter in Boston, 1988. Mine workers coming out of the mine shaft of Virginia City, Nevada, 1867, 1888. An Armenian fighter during the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. A suitably attired woman attends a Tupperware party, 1955. Men of the 7th Division using flamethrowers to smoke out Japanese from a blockhouse on Kwajalein Island, while others wait with rifles ready in case Japanese come out, 1944. Alfred Hitchcock out for a stroll with his wife and daughter, dogs Edward IX and Mr. Jenkins, fall 1939. This CD may contain more information than all the papers below me. Bill Gates, 1994. The end of Hitler's dream, a downed German plane in Stalingrad. Matthew Perry yearbook photo. Muhammad Ali and Sylvester Stallone at the 49th Academy Awards in 1977. Until the beginning of the 20th century, stilts were actually used to make people's lives easier, and shepherds depended on them to follow their flocks with a bird's eye view. 1908. A starving man and 2 emaciated children begging on the street, Warsaw Ghetto, World War II. Native American Absaroka or Crow, Fort Keogh, Montana, 1881. NBA players Manute Bol and Muggsy Bogues, 87. Chukotka Shaman, Wilstos Distestidui. The Vogue Supermodel Photoshoot, 1947. Jennifer Connelly, early 1990s. Sybil Shepherd, 1986. The Klondike Dance Hall and Saloon in Seattle, Washington, 1909. Dudley Foster weighed just 2 kilograms at age 5. Chinese infantry march along the Great Wall near Beijing. Second Sino-Japanese War, October 1938. An emaciated boy sitting on a pavement with a crowd of pedestrians around him. Warsaw Ghetto, World War II. Renovation work on the White House, c. 1950. Dwayne Johnson at 15-year-old. United States President Gerald Ford is presented with turkeys for Thanksgiving by the National Turkey Federation, 20th November 1975. Private Esther Garcia, the first Mexican-American from Fort Worth to sign up for the Women's Army Corps, 1945. Watch made by self-taught master Franz Karras and his apprentice Josef Monkos, 1907, St. Petersburg. Ruins of Dresden, 1944. London, 1899. The astronauts Harrison Schmitt and Gene Cernan view a crater within the Cinder Lake crater field. Both men went on to walk on the surface of the Moon in 1972, during Apollo 17. South Korean women weep as they listen to President Syngman Rhee speak at a memorial service in Seoul, October 17, 1953. The service honored the 33,964 South Koreans killed in the last year of the war, Nicole Kidman, 1999. Italian Foreign Minister the Count Ciano visits Poland's Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, 7 months before the German invasion, 1939. President Harry S. Truman and First Lady Bess Truman returning to the White House, 1952. Children walking to school on stilts, 1961. Bellini making the Conchone leap from his rope into Niagara River, New York, 1873. So we're at the White Castle Hamburgers Cafe from 1921. Charlie Chaplin, who was 53 years old, and Una O'Neill, who was 18. Their marriage was a long and happy one, and they had a family of 8 children. British veterans of the American Civil War, 1917. Run DMC and Weird Al Yankovic hanging out in 1987. Ornella Muti, 80s. Julia Roberts, 1980s. Disney animators with inspiration for 101 Dalmatians in 1961. Danny Trejo with his children Danielle and Gilbert in 1996. Gilmore Oil's Gasateria, one of the first self-serve gas stations in Los Angeles, 1948. All that's left of the Romanian cavalry after the Battle of Stalingrad, 1943. The frozen moustache of a representative of textile workers at the funeral of Vladimir Lenin, 1924. Motorcycle with sidecar, 1929. New York City driving becomes a team effort after a car gets lodged in almost 7 inches of snow on East 38th Street in 1943. Ava Gardner, 1940s. Nazi Bund Camp Anniversary Celebration, 1938. 1983 Price is Right prize, small. Screen Panasonic television, $500. A photographer captures the aftermath of the Great Alaska Earthquake, 1964. Ava Gardner in a chair on the set of the film Mogambo, 1953. Kim Cattrall and Mannequins, 1987. Squirrel Tommy Tucker in a suit made for him by Nina Lynn. South Vietnamese troopers test fire flamethrowers mounted atop APCs prior to moving out on Operation West of Krek, Cambodia, on November 28, 1971. Ringling Brothers elephants walking along Pulaski Highway, Baltimore, 1956. Captain Martin Van Buren and Mrs. Anna Swan Bates. Michael J. Fox and his stunt double Charlie Crowell on the set of Back to the Future Part 3, 1989. Irish hero, Antarctic explorer, Tom Crean, 1915. A beach in Iran a few months before the Islamic Revolution, 1979. Jason Momoa was in his early 20s. He had long hair and was shirtless. He was smiling. March 23rd, 1975. Marlon Brando makes a surprise appearance at Kezar Stadium concert to save San Francisco high school sports. Writer Ernest Hemingway with his family in Court Marlins, Bimini, Bahamas, 1935. A resident of Prague explains to a Soviet soldier that they do not need international help, Czechoslovakia, 1968. In 1996, the Port Arthur massacre in Australia began. Australia immediately went about reforming gun laws, and around 650,000 firearms were collected and destroyed. This photo shows some of the guns collected. A lady of the most ancient profession works in Essen, Germany, 1947. Colonel Sanders meets Mickey and Pluto, 1967. International Posture Queen, 1957. Danny Trejo and his daughter, early 1990s. A stunned crowd watches a pair of German shepherds ride a motorcycle with a sidecar in 1932. Chicago's Tri-Taylor neighborhood in 1971. Milene de Mongeau, 160. Apaches deliver hay to American settlers, Arizona. 1893. Pam Grier, 1974. Moroccan Police Commissioner Mustafa Tebet hangs his head at his trial. With the protection of other cops, Tebet kidnapped, assaulted and raped at least 518 women. It remains the worst police corruption scandal in the country. 1993. Group photograph of the Surrealists, 1924. Salvador Dali and Gala, Paul Eluard, Philippe Soupol, René Crevel, Robert Desnos and others. Circus trailer, 1941. The turret of the battleship Mutsu recovered from the bottom of the sea. On June 8, 1943, the ship exploded in Hiroshima Bay and sank at a depth of 40 meters. Performance on the River Thames in London taken in 1920. Producer Albert S. Ruddy confers with Marlon Brando on set of The Godfather 1971. Whitney Houston performed at Morehouse's Homecoming in 1985. Jane Mansfield with Pink Baby Elephant at her birthday party, 1960s. The line to see The Exorcist. Thurgood Marshall leaving federal court after the court ruled authoring Lucy to be admitted to the University of Alabama. Lucy was later expelled by the university for her own safety due to riots and outrage. Birmingham, 1956. President George W. Bush stepped on First Lady Barbara Bush's foot while boarding Air Force One at Andrews Air Force Base, Maryland, September 23, 1989. Lewis Clark, the strong boy, shows off his back muscles. 1930. The Duke of York, later George V, holding his firstborn child, Edward, later Edward VIII, 1894. Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip are in the Gold State coach. They're in the coach during her coronation procession from Buckingham Palace to Westminster Abbey. This happened on June 2, 1953. Cindy Crawford, 1987. a divorcing couple splitting up their Beanie Babies in court in Las Vegas, 1999. The couple was unable to split the collection by themselves, so they spread it on the courtroom floor and divided it up under the judge's supervision. Partisan leaders of Yugoslavia hold a meeting in a cave during World War II, 1943 and 1944. Hitler's nephew moved to America and joined the United States Navy to fight his uncle, 1911-1947. Princess Diana and Nati. Andre holding and posing 4 models in the 1980s. A family gets ready for a long trip, early 20th century. A boy cooks corn at his home, New Mexico, 1940. Rob Lowe, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Robert Downey Jr. at the Governor's Ball after the 1988 Academy Awards. Osborne 1, the world's first laptop, 1981. Kathy Guys White and her cartoon Kathy, 1982. Bank employees holding long draft tape. Sweeping machines, Pew 7 on the streets of Moscow, 1938. An audio animatronic Abraham Lincoln rises from a seated position at the start of a 9-minute performance and walks toward the audience at the Illinois Pavilion at the New York World's Fair, 1964. Roller skate trick in Venice Beach in the late 1970s. Survivors of the earthquake in Spitak, Armenia, 1988. Michelle Pfeiffer, müssen Titel. Ronald and Nancy Reagan with Rock Hudson at a White House state dinner on May 15, 1984. Hudson is HIV positive in this photo, though he is not yet aware of this. Christine Eastley wears a unique dress made from 65 £1 notes, December 13, 1966. Twilight Zone nightmare at 20,000 feet, 1960s. When a group of white and black integrationists refused to leave a motel swimming pool in St. Augustine, Florida, this man dove in and cleared them out on June 18, 1964. All were arrested. an undated photograph of the whipping post in Georgetown, Delaware. The post was placed for public view outside of the old Sussex County Courthouse in 1993. The News Journal reports that it was marketed as a tourist attraction